So it was actually today that I know that lions don't live long. The male lions live as long as maybe 10 years, while the lioness live like 16 years. I also read why they don't live long. One was because the lions roar. That roaring comes from the side of anger, severe anger. So lions are constantly angry. As in any little provocation, they will just like spark. And it is not actually too good to the health. They almost live all their life in anger. Any little thing like this, it will trigger their emotions and they will just like explode. And because of that, they don't really live long because that thing is not actually too good to their health. Then I now heard that the longest lasting is a tortoise, because I heard that tortoise can last as long as 200 and something years, you know. Why? Because they don't express severe anger. When you do anything that gets tortoise angry, the least it could do is just like to enter inside its shell, stay calm. It doesn't show any aggression. That goes to show that anger destroys. A lot of us are living our life in anger. Some people can't just tolerate. So many people had actually ended their life untimely because of anger. Some things you could ignore. You want to dig it. You want to show that no, they can do it to others, but they can't do it to you. You are untouchable. Nobody can give you advice. It must happen the way you want, or else you put the roof. You know, that had actually led a lot of people to a stage they never see opportunity to come back to this life again. Like when I was reading Ben Cousin, you know, he talked about one day he was with his friend. So his friend said something. He was so furious that he had to use one small knife he was holding and threw to his friend. According to him, he said that the knife pierced the wall, you know. So by the grace of God, it almost entered that guy, but he dodged it. So he started asking himself, what if this knife actually pierced into his friend's body like it pierced the wall? So today he would have been rigoring in the prison. Probably we wouldn't even know who is Ben Cousin. There was one day I was coming back home. So when I got to the park, I saw that there was chance in front. So the lady that was sitting in front sat at the window side. Normally, she was actually supposed to come down so that the person that would sit after her would just see chance to enter. So when I wanted to enter there, the lady was like, hey, squeeze yourself to enter now, that she doesn't have power to start coming down and going up again. I looked at this lady, quite slim, you know, very thin. I had to squeeze myself in, you know, with my bag. As I was struggling to enter, she didn't even shake a little bit. Nothing. She was just like so relaxed. And I was actually quite furious, but I controlled myself. Now, when we now got to where we alighted, we were to come down before her. The bus stopped and they were like, we should come down. And then it was already a bit dark. So I told this lady, please, can you come down? Let me come down, please. She said she doesn't have strength, that I should squeeze myself and just try to come down. I beg, I should not disturb her. Hey, I looked at her. I said, babe, what are you talking about? Even the bag she was carrying, she placed her bag on her laps. She didn't even to shift the bag. What's going on? I just had to push her a little bit. But because I was already furious, I never knew I pushed her with force. Before I knew it, this lady fell, tumbled. So everything she had on her back poured on the ground. It was even people that rushed to like pick her up. When I saw what I had done, I was gripped with fear. I hope she didn't injure herself. So I joined others to start helping her to pick what fell from her bag, you know. When I was done, I came down just leaning on the bus side just to carry my bag. Before I knew it, this lady came from nowhere through my back. She gave me this kind of slap, One of her fingers entered my eyes. In fact, my eyes were bringing out tears. My ears were like, meow. The slap was without mercy, that everybody around there screamed, what? They thought I could rush her. For where? I didn't even shake. I looked at this lady. She was quite thin. And she was even, after the slap, she was even agitating to do more. People now heard her say, you give somebody this kind of slap, and the person didn't do anything to retaliate, and you're agitating to do more. Babe, you know the fear. You know the fear. Look at this lady and look at you. She would just break into two. But I didn't talk. I didn't even shake. People came, started touching my body, that they were tapping grace of patience. Because according to them, they were like, if not them, they cannot endure this type. After everything, I left. Second day, because then there was one thing I used to sell on weekend. When I came out, I saw people gathering, that there was a lady that used to come and buy something around, and it was even then I saw that lady had also come to buy what I was selling, bag that I used to sell. So they say she came to buy something from someone very close to my stand, you know. So they started pricing, and the lady now, the one that sells, insisted that she will not sell it like that. So you know, this lady used leg and kicked the bag that she was pricing. That was how that lady that sells pushed her. They say she fell. People now picked her up, you know. So later she's around there. She now said she was feeling somehow and called her people. They took her to the hospital and she later died. That lady that pushed her that day was arrested. because according to them, they said it was the fight that took her life. It would have been me, because if I had slapped her with the way I felt, oh my God, I would have just been the one to have ended her. But God just saved me and held me, so I escaped that day. A lot of people, when you see that the situation had actually turned so sour, the situation had actually looked so bloody, for you to just run for your life, no, you will remain there. If you're this kind of person that cannot control your emotions, you will finish yourself when your time had not reached. Honestly, sometimes look and wink. If you know that it's a situation you cannot actually maybe help, then move. Find another way. Either you walk out from there, or just do something to save yourself from there. Some of us are so furious that whenever anybody provoke you, you can even stab. You won't know. You can carry anything and throw at anybody. You won't know. Can even snap. Especially now that a lot of people are like walking cops. So many people are not normal as you see them. Just a little touch, they don't go, and you don't keep it that. You don't end somebody's life. No way. That is, no matter how they judge them. If for the sake that the other person don't go now, no judgment again. I have seen a woman. Okay, the child stole, I think, her 1,000 naira. She was quite furious, landing punches on this boy, throwing a lot of things at him, and the guy later fell. That was all. Before you knew it, she has used her hand to kill her own child. See, we have to learn to control our emotions. What's come to worse, if you are stuck with someone who constantly pushes you to serious anger, maybe whenever it starts, move away. That's why we keep telling women and men too. If you are stuck in a relationship, you know that if you don't move, see what will happen. Men, it will look as if you are intentionally telling people to break their home. The effect of anger is even worse than the anger itself. Anger had actually led a lot of people to psychiatric home. Anger constantly make you sick. In fact, with anger, your BP will always be high. So not only what your emotions will push you into, but health-wise, anger is not actually advisable. So try to control your anger. Work on yourself to control your emotions, especially at a time as this, because a lot of people are not well. That day that Onyekongwe ended, she dressed up. She wasn't sick. She dressed up by herself and went for that birthday to celebrate the celebrant. You understand? She had actually performed and danced with a lot of people, even danced with P2B. She now went to sit down, picked a bottle of water and started drinking. That was how she slumped from where she was sitting. If anybody had touched Onyeka, because nobody would know that her time was already closed. If anybody either quarreled or threatened or pushed or maybe anything, of course they will pass it to you that you are the one responsible for her stuff, for her pie, because there is no way she wasn't there. She didn't go there sick. I had seen some men of God preaching on the pulpit like this. From there, they were not even leaning on anything to say maybe that they were weak. Vibrantly preaching, and before you knew it, they slumped. So this is not a time you will say you are too furious, you want to lay your hands on anyone. You want to lay your hands on your wife, you want to lay your hands on your husband, you want to lay your hands on your children. This is not the time. And even if you will do it with caution, because so many people are not feeling all right now, especially some breadwinners. Some people have thought themselves into depression because of the situation of things, the economy of the nation. So many people are not even well per se. So whenever anybody wants to provoke you to wrath, help yourself by controlling your emotions. And if you're this kind of person that can't control your emotions, walk away from that place. This is a time we should even practice what the Bible says, that if someone slap you at your right cheek, turn the left one. It is better you are laughed at than that you want to show that you have strength and land yourself where you don't expect. Control yourself and be very, very careful at a time as this. Let me tell you, the way people are going now, many of them are not even sick, and they were not looking sick. So you just see someone, you think the person is okay. So please, this is not a time to be so furious. This is not a time. There's a bit of unnecessary anger. Control it. If you have anger issue, tell God to help you. Some people are even as proud of saying, please, I have anger issue. It is not something to be prayed for. It is not something to even be proud of. It is a time to forgive and move on for the sake of your health, because a lot of people are going through a lot in the country already, than to start allowing something that will constantly provoke you to wrath. Please be cautioned and be cautious.